So, where should you buy or register your domain? Over the years, I've probably purchased or sold hundreds of domains, and this is my list of my favorite domain registrars, including the benefits, some of the drawbacks, and of course the pricing for each one of them. By the way, I'm Marvin, I'm with Memberspace, and we've helped website owners earn over $281 million by adding paid membership access to any part of their website. So back to the list. Now, the first thing you should know about buying a domain is that you're not actually buying it. You're actually just renting your domain. And to rent a domain on average costs about $10 to $20 per year. Now, that price can go up or down depending on whether or not you want a premium domain or a different type of TLD. But for the most part, we're going to talk about the average.com between $10 and $20. So now, my favorite registrar that I use all the time to this day is Namecheap, right? Namecheap.com. I like it because it's cheap, right? It's as cheap as $10 per year for a domain. And sometimes when you buy a domain for the first year, it's a little bit cheaper and then it renews at a little bit higher of a price. So every year it might be about $14, $15 per year, but that's pretty standard. Now, I also like Namecheap is because when you purchase a domain, your information, your contact information gets released everywhere. And what they do a good job of is protecting or making your domain contact information private so you don't get bombarded with marketing and solicitations for like logos, let me build your website, let me do this. They keep it private and they do it for free. And other registrars charge you for that. So that's why I love Namecheap. It's my personal favorite. And they have 24/7 fantastic support. Now, the second on this list, for you more advanced users, this might kind of bug you because it's a big company, but I gotta say, I spent years buying domains over at GoDaddy and their support is fantastic. So if you're watching this video, then you might be a beginner. And if you're a beginner, you might need heavy support. And GoDaddy probably has the best support. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can always get a hold of a real person. It's pretty easy, but it's a giant company. A lot of people don't like that. So the costs of GoDaddy are pretty standard. You're going to pay between $11, $12, maybe $13 for an average domain, and it's going to renew every single year right around the same price. All right, so the next on the list is a company called Bluehost. Now, I like Bluehost a lot because they actually give you a free domain if you host with them. And the downside of that, that's great, but the downside is that they specialize in hosting. That is their top priority. That's their biggest product, but they do a really good job at selling domains as well. It's a secondary product for them, however. So you have to purchase hosting, which every website owner does. Everybody has to purchase hosting, which is a monthly fee, but that's a different conversation in a different video. And if you purchase your hosting with Bluehost, they give you a free domain for the first year. So that's pretty cool. All right, so fourth on my list, Squarespace. Okay, now if you know that you are going to build your website on Squarespace, then you might as well buy your domain from Squarespace as well. You don't have to. You can buy your domain anywhere and point it to Squarespace. But if you're going to build your website on Squarespace and you're going to host your website on Squarespace, then you might as well keep everything under one roof and purchase your domain at Squarespace. Now, the downside of Squarespace is that it's probably one of the most expensive places to buy a domain. It's on average about $20 per year, and it can renew upwards of $22, $23, $24 per year. So it's probably double the cost of other domain registrars, right? So anyway, if you're going to build your website at Squarespace, buy your domain at Squarespace. Now, the fifth registrar on the list is Wix. And I'll recommend Wix for the exact same reason that I recommended Squarespace. Now, if you know that you're going to build your website over at Wix, and that's what you're planning on doing, then you might as well host at Wix and you might as well buy your domain at Wix and keep it all under one roof. Now, it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other registrars at $15 per year on average, and it renews at around $15 per year. But again, if you're going to build your website at Wix, might as well keep everything under one roof and buy your domain at Wix as well. So again, to wrap things up, my favorite domain registrar is Namecheap because it's the cheapest. It has free privacy protection. It's got 24/7 support. And another plus, if you're going to build a WordPress website, which is my favorite type of website platform to build on, they have a really great sister website called easywp.com that makes it super easy to build your WordPress site and use any domain over at Namecheap. That's really it. That's the list of registrars that I recommend. For more website revenue generating tips, please follow us or subscribe.